from the deep, dark hollers of Knott County, Kentucky, where the moonshine is strong, stories are strange, and your neighbor is probably your cousin. This is Appalachia, not so quiet. Hey, welcome back everybody to the latest episode of Appalachia Not So Quiet. I am your host, Hillbilly Phantom, and as always, I am joined by my lovely wife, my co-host,
Appalachian Shade.
So we've got a very exciting episode going on, but first, I want to apologize. I'm pretty sure it was a mistake on my end. Last episode, at the end of the episode, I say my closing line, watch out for them buggers. And then there's no music.
I know, and nobody could jam out after that. Like, that's the best part.
If you listen really close, though, it's really, really low, but the music is there. So maybe if you crank your stereo all the way up, you might be able to hear it. But yeah, that was my bad. I think during the editing process, I must have turned the volume down a little low. Oops. It happens. And another thing that we mentioned on the last episode, we talked about our sponsor, Abby's Southern Sips, would be setting up at Mind Made Adventure Park for the GNCC racing event that was happening this weekend. We actually went up there and checked it out.
Oh yeah, we got to experience that. It was really cool.
Yeah, it was actually very, very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Not something I'm really used to seeing in Knott County, Kentucky.
Mm-mm.
There's, these big sponsors and everything up there. All the crews of these
teams.
Yeah, all these racing teams were walking around. They had on like the big suits with all their sponsors all over it and everything. You know, it looked like a NASCAR pit crew or something.
Yeah.
It was really cool. And it was a huge event.
Yeah.
Man, there was so many people there.
And it was so cool to see like the little baby ones race too, like little preschool kids.
Yeah, they had like a 3-year-old division and then a 4-year-old division.
So cute. So cute.
It was really cute. Yeah, they were running around on their little bicycles around the little track.
But just like all of the dynamics that goes with this, and you wouldn't think about it, is we do our simple trail rides, and everybody brings up their motorcycles and their side by sides and their ATVs.
Yeah.
But like this event, they even had their own hospital there. Like they had doctors and surgeons that way, like immediately if someone were to be injured up there, because they can be dangerous, especially in the mountains. They had X-ray
ATV
machines
racing
and all that stuff, and then they also had like a helipad ready to go if there was something that they couldn't treat them with, and they could get them to the closest trauma center.
Yeah,
It was just amazing. Like,
it was really
to have a
cool.
hospital on the hill. It was
Yeah.
Knott County for a day had their own hospital.
Yeah.
We've never had that
They had a
before.
little mobile hospital. They just pulled right up there on the hill. Yeah, it was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of cool people out there, and of course, we had some delicious gourmet lemonade.
Yes.
From Abby's Southern
Oh
Sips.
yes, I highly recommend the watermelon sugar, or it's not on the menu, but you can tell her I sent you. Tell her it's Shade Special Drink. It's the watermelon sugar, but instead of the watermelon syrup, you want to get peach syrup in it. I'm trying to get her to name it like the Holler Fuzz, or like the fizzy navel. Oh my gosh, I'm just telling you, if you like peach, that's what you need to order. Promise.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of peach. I've never liked peach.
Yeah.
I don't like peaches. I don't like peach flavored stuff. Everybody goes crazy over the peach knee highs. I never was a huge fan.
The only thing, and I'm going to add next time I have it, is some peach crown in it. That will be the icing on the cake. The bee's
peach
knees,
crown.
chef's kiss.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
Spice it up. Make it a hard lemonade.
Well, no, mine wasn't a lemonade. Mine was Mine was a porch pop.
A porch pop. Yeah, one of the new porch pops. I didn't get to try that. I stuck with my usual Arnold Palmer. Delicious. But there were also a lot of delicious food booths set up there, and there were merch tables. I saw the huge merch trailer, all kinds
We
of
had
shirts for sale.
we had Two Big Pigs, barbecue.
Yeah, and Olivia's Bloomin' Onion.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, I mean, they have more than just bloomin' onions. But I did have a bloomin' onion. It was delicious. And then there was another booth right beside of Abby. They had like pizza and chicken tenders and stuff. It
Yeah,
was really good.
this guy wasn't local. He was out of Pennsylvania, but they had a really nice setup too. And they had like, I don't know, ginormous pizzas, like 4-foot pizzas. It was
Yeah,
like
yeah,
they
were
were
huge.
baking there. It was great.
Yeah, it was a really fun time, and we got rained out. We went up on Saturday evening, and we weren't there very long, and the rain came. Kind of put a damper on things, but it was still a really cool experience, a really fun event. Everybody was having a great time. I like to see more stuff like this happen in Knott County. It was
Yeah,
really cool.
definitely. If it comes back around, we'll be visiting it
Yeah.
again for the whole experience. I'd like
Yeah,
to do the whole
absolutely.
thing.
And there's another trail ride. I guess it's the horse trail ride
Weekend
coming
after
up.
next.
Yeah, Abby will probably be there for that one too.
The spring trail ride.
Yeah, so I mean, there are some things to do in Knott County from time to time.
But Abby's also going to be set up next weekend at the Leatherwood Livestock Festival.
Leatherwood? The Leatherwood Livestock Festival.
That's going to be a hoot and a hoedown there.
Is it like a big event, or is it just
I'm
kind
guessing
of like a
so.
farmer's market?
No, it's like a livestock selling event.
But they make like a big deal out of it?
Mhm.
Think they'll have live music?
Oh, I don't know.
I bet they probably will. I mean, I'm just guessing. Yeah, go to a livestock sale and get you a cow and a delicious gourmet lemonade.
And a dozen guineas.
And a dozen guineas. Man, those things are annoying. But I hear that they're very good to have around because they eat ticks and things.
I would like to have them around to turn loose on my worst enemy.
They can be pretty aggravating.
And that's the point. That I would want to turn them loose on my worst enemy.
They might be effective. Well, that's actually being kind of nice to your enemy when you think about you could turn loose the creature you're going to discuss tonight on your worst enemy. It would probably be way worse than a guinea. There's a lot of things creeping around out there in the deep, dark hollers of Appalachia that are way worse than guineas. And everybody out there knows what I'm talking about. We're talking about those creatures that are rarely ever seen, the cryptids of Appalachia. Now, we've discussed many different cryptids. We've talked about some of the bigger ones, Bigfoots, Mothman, and we've discussed some of the lesser known cryptids.
Yellowman Stretcher, Lineman, Giraffe Possum.
Yeah, these cryptids that aren't very well known at all. We're going to discuss a couple more of these strange cryptids that supposedly roam the mountains of eastern Kentucky. Now, Shade, the lovely and talented Shade, has decided to take on a beast that we have mentioned a few times, but we've not really discussed its story. We've just mentioned its name a few times. It's one of those crazy cryptids that's like, how in the heck can this possibly be a thing? Well, Shade's going to tell us the story, and we're going to see. What is your crazy cryptid, Shade?
The Meth Hog.
The Meth Hog.
The Meth Hog. And it originated in the hills of eastern Kentucky, particularly around Harlan County.
Harlan. Well, I mean, if a meth hog is going to come from somewhere, I'm just kidding. We love all of you over in Harlan.
One of the first sightings was like in 2000.
Yeah.
But I mean, in the past, we've had wild hog or boar roam in eastern Kentucky. They're not so common as they used to be years ago. So this could be either a wild boar or somebody's actual pigs that escaped and they're exposed to this.
I always took it as, like domestic pigs.
So it all began when people started to report like enormous aggressive hogs, unlike anything local they've ever seen before. Witnesses described the animals as reaching extreme sizes up to 10 feet long and nearly 900 pounds.
Holy cow.
With strange physical abnormalities, multiple sets of tusks, thick hides, erratic, almost unnatural behaviors. So, if you're not familiar with what meth is,
well, I mean, anybody in eastern Kentucky is probably familiar with it.
I've never cooked it before, but, like, through medical training and things like that, you kinda know it's about anything that's under your kitchen sink or in your medicine cabinet, basically. That's what meth is, with a
Yeah.
little wasp spray.
Yeah, they use all kinds of stuff for it. Yeah, it's insane. Back when I worked at a gas station, that gas station sold a very strong kind of drain cleaner, and they had to start locking it up because people were stealing it to make meth with.
That's why I always question, like, when I go in the store, everything's, like, behind glass or locked with the locks, or you have to ask someone to assist you to get it off the rack or whatever. I'm like, "Well, they must be able to add this in there now to
Yeah,
make meth
I
with,"
guess
and I
they
get
can make meth out
aggravated.
of this.
Even, like, batteries, lithium batteries and things like
Yeah,
that. I'm just like, "Come on, people." They're just throwing
that's a big
everything in
one.
there.
Yeah, the lithium batteries, that's a big one.
Yeah. So, but this particular batch or batches that were being made at this meth lab over in Harlan, they added some kind of growth hormone to it as well. Story has it.
So they were sticking steroids in their
Like,
meth?
yeah, like steroids or testosterone, things like that in there.
That's so weird.
In it, like, that's why they had like rapid growth, increased aggression, physical mutations.
Okay, so they're saying that this was like super soldier meth,
Yeah.
and these pigs got a hold. Now, how did the pigs get a hold of it?
So, as you know, pigs are, scavengers. They'll eat trash, food
Oh yeah,
scraps,
they'll eat anything.
corn, crops, anything unusual smells foul, and meth does.
Yeah,
So,
getting them to eat it would not be a problem at all. I don't think. I'm just wondering how did they just
yeah.
happen to find meth?
So, with illegal drug activity happening and then people growing their livestock as well, that they would just like throw the bottles out or cookers or whatever they're using and
Oh,
just
okay, I
was
got you
just
now.
eating it off the ground.
Yeah.
So
Okay. So
anything that, like, if they throwed out anything in the house and those were they were consuming it, like I said, the hogs will eat anything.
yeah.
So they were ingesting it that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, they were just tossing out anything that probably had this meth or
Hmm.
residue of it. And they were just tossing it out wherever. And these pigs rooted around in it and turned into meth pigs.
Well, and there's one story saying that, the meth lab in Harlan actually exploded. There was pieces everywhere, and then these hogs came around and just eat everything that was laying on the ground.
Oh,
So,
wow. Okay.
yeah,
So they got into it afterward.
right. So one of the most chilling incidents, though, tied to the meth hog, happened in 2008 in a wooded area in Cantina State Forest, which is near Pine Mountain, just like on the edge of Pine Mountain in Letcher in Harlan County.
Cantina?
Cantina State Park or State Forest. I'm sorry. And it's the oldest state forest that we have.
Okay.
It says a family of 4 went camping, and when a ranger later came through, their campsite had been completely destroyed. The entire campsite looked like it had been violently trampled into the ground. Blood, torn pieces of clothing, tents, like all their camp stuff everywhere, but no bodies were ever found.
Oh boy. Well, you know how the mob, the mafia, one of the ways they used to get rid of bodies?
It's feed them to hogs.
Feed them to the
Right,
hogs.
because there's nothing
Because
left.
they will eat a body completely.
So, but some of the things that they were able to find is like large cloved hoof prints, and they're like these were massive, more massive than they had seen with a wild boar in the area. They
Yeah.
were like these were ungodly hoof prints.
Giant hogs.
Mm-hmm.
Meth hogs.
There's like a trapper who reportedly caught and killed one in 2010.
Really?
And he said even killing it wasn't easy. He claimed that he took multiple close range shots to the head to try and bring it down. And what he found afterward was just like gruesome. He said the hide was like so thick it was nearly impossible to cut. And he literally
Oh.
had to take like a chainsaw, a small chainsaw to cut through it.
Holy
Yeah.
cow.
He said the smell was so like overwhelming, far from anything any normal animal smell. And like a hog stinks anyways, if you've
yeah.
ever been around them.
Yeah, they definitely stink.
I can't imagine. He said this creature had 2 livers, 4 kidneys, numerous tumor-like growths inside of its body cavities, had multiple rows of teeth, I've known of like a
What?
regular hog having multiple rows of teeth. Several long tusks, some nearly 8 inches, jolting in different directions. And the animal was said to have 4 testicles,
4?
adding to the theory of the hormone mutation.
Wow. So this is a Teenage Mutant Ninja pig.
So the combination of the fat and cartilage under the skin formed a dense layer barrier, flexible while moving, but compressed into a firm, almost bullet-resistant shield when struck. So kind of like,
Wow.
what do they call it? What is it? I don't know. It's like when you take cornstarch and water and like you can pick it up and it rips through your fingers, but when you punch it, it's like really solid.
Oh, yeah. Flubber.
I don't know what it's called. So, and they said that the trapper was shaken by what he seen, and he refused to keep any part of it and burned it, the entire body. He was just like, "This is just disgusting."
Weird. Well, I mean, that kind of sucks that he burned it, though, because that sounds like a medical anomaly. Could have been studied. Some kind of giant pig, 4 testicles, 2 livers, skin so thick you can barely cut it.
So, well, I mean, this kind of makes sense. I remember my grandpa raising some hogs, and my dad and my uncles talking about how when they were going to that they killed it and they shot it with a high powered rifle like several times to try and take it down so that they could gut it and all that stuff.
Just a
And
regular hog that they had
yeah,
raised.
yeah, and they said that,
Okay.
this particular hog, anyways, he was like 500 pounds, like.
So I mean, a really big one.
Yeah, they probably shouldn't have let him get that big, they said, but, he was just like a really aggressively growing hog.
Yeah.
So when they cut open his skull, because they are gross and they would make souse meat, they call it hog head
Yeah.
souse. So they take
Yeah.
parts of the
Ugh.
brain and make what they call head cheese or whatever out
Yeah.
of it. That it was a double skull. Like this hog had 2 skulls, like it had a skull and then another one inside of it.
What?
So,
2 skulls?
Yeah, it took 4 shots to penetrate to kill it.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So I don't know if this was probably in the early 90s or something. And there was a little girl when they would do hog killings.
Yeah.
So, and I like to watch it, but when they done this one, I guess they didn't want me to see it. So
That's crazy.
yeah.
2 skulls.
I mean, it's possible to have.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's definitely some kind of a medical anomaly, some kind of genetic mutation, or
In this case, this was like a hormonal mutation as well. So
yeah,
and that's what made them like
seem
like they were resistant to bullets. So
I mean, wild boars are
they're mean anyways.
Wild boars are notoriously kind of hard to bring down anyway. They have to use like high powered rifles to get them, and they have to swoop down on them out in helicopters and stuff, to take these things out because they are really tough. But man, taking that many shots from a high powered rifle, that's one tough strip of bacon.
So, and there was another hunter that encountered one of these as well. He said that he was deep in the woods and heard something crashing through the brush, and out comes a massive hog, far larger than any normal hog, tusk visible for distances, charging immediately, not hesitating. And it said that it kept charging at him, slamming into the base, like he climbed a tree, like slamming into the base of the tree, trying to get up there to him or get him to fall down.
Trying to knock him down.
Circling, pacing, refusing to leave. And he was there like till morning because they come out at night.
Yeah.
So until they finally left.
Wow.
And there's reports of them, packing off full cows, cattle, other hogs, other livestock that they just.
So they're going around killing other livestock too.
And that's not really normal for pigs. They usually just
not
eat,
at all.
bugs and dirt and.
I mean, you throw a dead body over there, they'll eat it. But, yeah, they usually don't go hunting for it.
Well, I mean, if they're wired on meth.
Well, that's true. That's true. Because this falls into the kind of the cocaine bear category. That for the minute and 30 seconds before that bear's heart exploded, it was the greatest apex predator on the planet. That's kind of what I'm thinking with the meth hogs. It's like they're jacked up on meth.
And steroids.
Apparently.
They're invincible.
Yeah. So, that nothing can hurt them. Nothing's going to take them down. And they can
they're
just about run
very
through
flexible.
a wall. Yeah, almost bulletproof,
Yeah.
apparently.
And a lot of people say, well, this is not medically possible for these hogs to eat those chemicals and live through it and stuff, but they have stronger digestive juices than humans, and they're not supposed to eat humans or flesh or meat of
Yeah,
any sort. That's usually herbivores. But if they were to eat meat, like I said, their body has digestive juices to break all of that down, so it's not going to harm them in any way.
right. That's
Or
the reason
and
that they
it's
will eat anything is because, yeah, their digestive
it breaks things down.
acids and
So
things are designed to break down pretty much anything.
yeah, so if they were to eat meth, then it's probably not going to kill them. It's just
Yeah. I mean,
it's
it
good.
would
Could
depend
cause
on the
these
amount.
mutations.
It would depend on the amount. And what I'm getting from the story, the meth was kind of a catalyst that started this kind of new breed of wild hog. And so now, whatever mutation that this meth caused in those original pigs is being passed down. And now we're having sightings of this very rare but completely possible meth hog.
Pigs, like, they reproduce rapidly just like rabbits
Yeah.
do. So
That's why we're having such a problem with the wild boars. They're spreading all through, southwest up into central part of America. They're getting out this way. There's been sightings out in western Kentucky of
and
all these wild boars. And I mean, I know they used to be,
and then they get up here and breed with these meth hogs.
yeah, oh man. But I mean, there's been sightings for hundreds of years of wild boars in various places. I remember when I was a kid, people supposedly claiming to have seen a wild boar around here, southeastern Kentucky, but we didn't have anything. So, did they really see one? Maybe it was a meth hog.
Meth didn't come out, well,
Uh,
didn't start being made until, like, the early 2000s, that I'm aware of around here anyways. It could have been before then. I don't know. I would just like to know who's like, "Let's mix everything under the cabinet,
yeah, let's
and let's
mix
see what it tastes
let's mix
like."
every poison we can find together and see if it kills us
Uh,
or gets us high. Turns out a little bit will get you high, a little bit more will get you dead.
yeah.
But I mean, it's entirely possible that, there may have been a random wild boar that happened to roam through the area. Somebody saw it. Maybe that's where the story of these things came from because, like I said, they have been kind of slowly moving this direction. They've been a real problem down in Arkansas, Oklahoma, out that way. They were paying wild game hunters to come down there and take these things out because they had so many of them. They were such an invasive species, and they're so mean and aggressive. Yeah,
Without meth.
yeah. Can you imagine something like that jacked up on meth? Insane. Have you ever seen a meth hog?
I haven't.
I haven't either,
Just a meth
and
head.
and I hope I don't. Yeah, I've seen several meth heads, so those are bad enough.
Yeah.
I don't want to see a meth hog. I mean, the whole meth hog thing, it sounds kind of silly. It is a real possibility. Maybe not the whole genetically mutated because of meth mixed with steroids or whatever.
I
That
mean,
may not be the thing. I'm just saying there could be some very large species of wild boar that could be hidden away somewhere.
there's been several reports over in that area too of people saying that they've ripped off the front bumper of their car or their mirrors, destroyed the houses and buildings, like corners and stuff, fighting them, and like really
Yeah, see,
aggressive
that's
fences.
that's crazy. You're not going to
Yeah.
mistake some other kind of animal for a pig,
For them to
you know.
like aggressively attack a car.
So this would definitely have to be a hog, I would think,
Yeah.
because like I said, it'd be kind of hard to mistake anything else for a wild hog. So I would say that's what people are seeing. But like I said, maybe it could be just a really large wild boar that happens to be in the area. The whole meth part of the story, I think that was just an add-on, an embellishment. But hey, who am I to say? You never know what the truth could
Mhm.
actually be in a case like that. All we really have to go on are our experiences. And I've never experienced a meth hog, but I find it very interesting. And I'm glad you decided to bring that one up because, like I said, we've mentioned it a couple times, but never actually
Yeah.
talked about it.
Well, it's a funny one, but I mean,
Yeah, it is.
it's
Like I said,
plausible. they've eaten meth.
Yeah, the whole
So,
myth aspect makes it a little funny sounding, but it's a very real possibility that, yeah, like I said, some kind of a wild boar could actually be running around in the hills of Harlan.
and a lot of people are kind of like, "Oh, that's crazy," because how heavily used meth is in our area. The drug pandemic.
Yeah,
So I say pandemic, it's an epidemic, but it
yeah,
seems like everybody is using it. So
yeah. Unfortunately, it
or is
does.
affected by it, let's say. But I mean, it's very possible that these hogs eat some snowbow and some wasp sprays.
Maybe that's it. Maybe they're not actually eating meth.
Yeah.
Maybe they're eating the chemicals that people make meth from. And because, like we were talking about, their strong digestive juices, it creates meth in their stomachs.
Yeah, it's cooking it just right.
And it
So
turns them into meth hogs.
could be.
Well, like I said, we've never had a meth hog experience, but just because we've never seen one doesn't mean it doesn't exist. We say that all the time. But an experience that you had, actually, my dear Shade, led me to the creature that I want to discuss tonight. And probably out of all the strange creatures we've ever talked about, this is probably one that is seen the most.
I would say around here.
Yeah. I mean, you would think that, I say cryptid seen the most, you probably automatically think Bigfoot. But actually, this is something that, I don't know, it's kind of hard to wiggle it into the cryptid box because this is an actual animal, but it shouldn't be here.
Right.
Eastern Kentucky, as we say all the time, is one of those places full of deep hollers and dense forests and very tall ridgelines. And for generations, people have whispered about something moving through the woods, silent, dark, and watching. I'm not talking about the superhero from Wakanda, but I am talking about Black Panthers. And like I said, officially, they don't exist here.
No, according to Fish and Wildlife.
They're not supposed to be here. We're not supposed to have any kind of big cats except for bobcats and mountain lions.
Not even mountain lions.
And yeah, they're still on the fence with the mountain lions,
Yeah,
but
they're like,
so
"No."
many people have seen them now.
Mhm.
They've been caught on trail cameras, and they keep saying, "Oh well, there may have been one casually moving through the area."
Be a domesticated one.
Yeah, or yeah, it was an exotic pet that got
Mhm.
loose. No, come on. But lots and lots of people have seen Black Panthers. I mean, I personally know probably at least 5 or 6 people that say they have seen a Black Panther.
Well, my granny used to say she's seen them, and this was like in the early 1900s. So I think she was born like 1906 or whatever. And she always said as a young girl she'd seen them and stuff. When I was little, she all the time be like, "Oh, watch out for them Black Panthers out there. They live under the rocks." So, and she's like, she swore that she had seen them.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have. That was one of the things. I mean, when I was a kid, I remember a couple other kids in school that said, they had seen a Black Panther when they were out hunting with their dad or something.
Mm.
It's like, what? Like, yeah, and, they're not supposed to be around here.
But they are.
But what? But like I said, it was actually a sighting that you had that brought me to this because I remember you calling me
As soon as I got to work.
as soon as you got to work one morning. I think I was off work that day. And yeah, you called me and you and our oldest son.
Yeah, our littlest one was home that day. I can't remember. I think he was sick or something. It was just me and our oldest son on our
Oh,
way.
okay. Well,
I was on my way to work.
okay.
They went to the school I worked at.
Yeah.
We were on the
Okay.
way to
No, I
school.
wasn't home. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was at work. I remember now.
Mm.
Yeah, you called me and you and our oldest son were on your way to school because you worked at the school
Mhm.
and he went there. And going across
Dick's Fork.
Dick's Fork Mountain,
Mhm.
you were coming down the other side over onto the Lots Creek side.
Yeah. And as we were going down the hill from the left, he came across the road and shot up the hill toward like the Honey Gap area. It was probably, I'm going to say about 4 feet long, maybe 2 to 3 feet tall. Had a really long black tail on it. And I looked over at our son at the same, I was like, "Did you just see that?" And he's like, "Yes, I did." And usually in the mornings he's playing on his phone or something other, and I was like, "Man, I wish we had gotten a picture of that." But I was kind of shaking because I was like, "Oh my god, did did that just happen? Like, did we really just see a Black Panther?
Yeah.
And so it was really close to one of the teachers that worked at the school. It's close to her house, and I know she has a lot of livestock and, younger kids that play there, and was like I went directly in her, I was like, "You're gonna think that I'm crazy, but I have to tell you this because I fear for the safety of your kids and your animals." I said, "And you can ask our oldest son," and I was like, "There was a Black Panther that just jumped across the road, like, toward your house on your hillside." And she's like, "Are you serious?" She's like, "We've been catching something black on the trail cameras, like, really close up to it." And she's like, "It looks like a cat, but we can't get, like, a clear visual of it or what its size is because it's, like, really close to the camera."
Wow.
Yeah. She's like, "No," she's like, "I really believe you." She's like, "Because we've been trying to figure out exactly what it is." She said she had, like, one of the Maine Coon cats or whatever,
Yeah,
really
the
long.
big cats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, "We thought it was him up there at the trail camera." She's like, "But I don't think he would be that far away from the house." She's like, "But maybe." I was like, "No, honey." I was like, "This is way bigger than your cat. I
Yeah.
promise. This is massive."
Yeah. The Maine Coon cat. It's a big cat. It is a really big cat. Probably the biggest domestic cat.
Mhm.
Absolutely. But yeah, it's
No.
nowhere near Black Panther size.
No.
Reports of large cats in eastern Kentucky go back long, long before there were any smartphones. Everybody was packing around a camera and stuff. So now we are getting, like you said, she was catching apparently something on her trail camera.
Mhm.
And that's been a lot of the sightings. We've actually been able to catch some images of these Black Panthers. Supposedly, they could be fake, but I have seen some supposed trail camera pictures of these Black Panthers.
I have a pretty keen eye of photography wise anyways, because I've worked in it for years of what is AI, what is been photoshopped, things like that.
Yeah.
And you can tell the difference, or I can. And there's some of these that are legit that I've
Yeah.
seen. Like the shadowing is perfect and things like that. You can't
Right.
you can't get that on like Photo Key or Adobe or just AI to generate it perfectly. Like there's gonna be some flaws that you can tell with the
Yeah,
details.
there usually is. That's usually how you can tell is there's usually some kind of flaw. It's getting harder and harder to spot nowadays
Mhm.
though. Because AI is getting really,
It
really
is.
good at faking photos. But through the decades, especially like back in my day, it was hunters, coal miners, farmers, people who were out there in these woods that knew these woods better than anyone. And they were all describing the same thing: a massive cat, sleek, muscular, completely black panther, long tail, usually creeping low to the ground, moving with absolute silence, sometimes crossing the roads at dusk or dawn. That's what made me think of your experience.
Well, it was early in the morning. It
Yeah,
was like 7:30, between 7:30 and 8 a.m.
yeah, early in the morning heading to
Mhm.
school. That's when you saw it. Sometimes standing just in the tree line watching. One man from Pike County claimed he saw one leap across a logging trail, clearing nearly 20 feet in a single bound. Another woman from Leslie County says she was driving alone at night and her headlights caught some glowing eyes, too low to the ground to be a deer and too large to be anything she could possibly explain. The body that followed behind those eyes was like a dark shadow. Usually it's completely silent, but sometimes people describe sounds, not a roar, not a scream, but something in between. Now that reminds me of a bobcat squalling. That is one of the scariest sounds you'll ever hear in your life is the bobcat squall.
It is. I mean, it sounds like a
It-
woman screaming.
yeah.
It's
It,
very
it,
bone
yeah, it
chilling.
sounds like a woman and a baby screaming. It's so it's so terrifying. Puts a chill down your spine every single time. So when somebody says they're hearing like a something in between a roar and a scream, that's kind of what I'm thinking. The people that are describing that sound, they might possibly just be hearing a bobcat. And of course, wildlife authorities have made it very clear there are no breeding populations of black panthers in Kentucky. In fact, Black Panther isn't even a true species. It's a term used for melanistic or black-coated variants of big cats, such as jaguars or leopards. And of course, neither of those animals are native to Appalachia. Now, mountain lions, also called cougars,
Not to be confused with women over 30. Single women over 30.
Cougars, single and ready to mingle. Meow. Did once roam this region, but they were hunted to near extinction east of the Mississippi River by the early 1900s. So officially, what people are seeing shouldn't be there. Like I said, there's been all kinds of sightings of mountain lions. So the possibility that there could be a melanistic mountain lion,
I mean, it could be.
it's possible. But again, if there are mountain lions in our area, definitely seems like there are, probably not a very big population. And I don't think that this mutation that causes the black coat, I don't believe that happens very often. So it would be very, very rare, for such a small population of mountain lions for one of them to have this disorder. Because it's so rare anyway, the chances that this possible small population of them in eastern Kentucky having one is just astronomical. Probably not that, but it has to remain as a possibility. Now, what's usually pointed out as explanations is misidentification, large dogs, bobcats seen in poor lighting, maybe even the occasional escaped exotic pet. Do you think that what you saw, that you just misidentified a large dog?
No, definitely not a dog. No.
And I'm guessing not a bobcat that you just saw in poor lighting, because you said it had a long tail.
No, usually that time of morning the sun is coming up on the hill. So.
Yeah. So it wasn't poor lighting.
No.
You saw.
I saw what I saw.
Full on good lighting.
Yeah.
Black Panther crossing the road.
If it was a dog, I've never seen a dog with a tail so long in my life.
And that's the thing is most of the witnesses who say they have seen one of these Black Panthers, they insist that they're not making a mistake. They know what a dog looks like. They know what a bobcat looks like. And this is neither of those. They swear that it is a Black Panther. Now, of course, this being a unproven creature from the deep, dark forests of Appalachia, it's not simply just a creature. There's always some kind of supernatural aura about the sightings as well. And these stories have actually been around for longer than you might imagine. Long before our European forefathers settled here, the indigenous tribes spoke of powerful animal spirits, beings that could move between the physical and the unseen. Some stories tell of shadow creatures, guardians, not bound by the same rules as ordinary animals. And that's a good point. The Native Americans that were already here, they were already talking about these cats, these panthers, these black creatures. And a lot of times they were seen as some kind of omen or something.
Wampus cat.
Yeah, they had the Wampus cat.
Mm.
That's considered one of the cryptids, one of the unexplained creatures that was seen in this area.
I didn't see it have like 6 legs. I only seen 4. But
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's, just the typical.
Could have been a baby one. Just a kitten. It could have just been a kitten.
It was a kitten. Yeah. Wampus cat. A Wampus kitten. The Wampus kitten. This also made me kind of reflect on my experience where I talked about the possibility of seeing Lion Man, where I saw the eyes just staring at me. Well, maybe it was one of these things. We talked about the possibility it was a Wampus cat. Well, maybe that's what these are. Maybe it's all the same thing. In the isolated hollers of eastern Kentucky, belief in the unseen never fades. And even today, even we sit here and talk about haints, restless spirits, things that can mimic the natural world, but aren't a part of it. So maybe seeing a Black Panther where there's not supposed to be a Black Panther. Maybe there's not a biological explanation. Maybe it's something spiritual, something that doesn't belong to the normal order of things. Maybe what you saw that morning, you and our oldest son on your way to school, maybe it was just there to send a message. Maybe it was some kind of omen. Maybe it was some kind of spirit.
Could have
It
been.
just took the form of a black cat, a big black cat. Because for something seen so often, like I said, I personally know probably at least 5 or 6 people that have seen it. I may know more people than that because some people may not want to say anything
Mhm.
because they'll be like, yeah, I don't want to talk about things that don't exist, supposedly don't exist. But for something seen so often, there's very little physical evidence that lends to the idea that maybe it's not something physical. Maybe it is something spiritual. There's very rarely any clear photographs. Like I said, there have been a few supposed images caught on trail cameras of these Black Panthers, but who can say for sure? They're getting really good at faking stuff. There's usually no verified tracks that are found whenever somebody sees one of these things. There's never been a body. Nobody has ever found a dead Black Panther laying on the side of the road or back in the hills when they've been hunting. And that's another point. There's all kinds of hunters, and a lot of hunters, they use traps. There's never been a Black Panther captured in a trap. There's never been a hunter that's, shot one. There's been plenty that have seen them.
Or attempted to shoot one.
Yeah, I would say some have actually took shots at them, but there's never been a body. But the reports continue year after year, sometimes in clusters, sometimes just isolated incidents, and always just out of the reach of confirmation. So maybe these aren't animals in the traditional sense. What if they're tied to the land somehow? A lot of the indigenous stories have to do with these spirits, these animal spirits being tied to the land. Each one of them had some sort of purpose. Appalachia is one of the oldest mountain ranges in the world, probably the oldest in the world. Places like this are bound to have, energy, presences, things that take shape. The Black Panther isn't just a creature, it's a manifestation, a watcher, a protector, existing in a boundary between what belongs and what doesn't. Many think seeing one is an omen. I'm not sure what the omen was for you and our oldest son on that morning, but I believe you. You say you saw one. I believe you. I believe him.
I have no reason to lie about it because it was a shock
Yeah.
to me to be able to see that. So
Yeah, I don't think you would.
because I was skeptical about it all of my life, like, oh, they're just lying about it. But to actually see it, I'm kind of like, okay, I'm a believer now. I seen it.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to know what to think. Like I said, I grew up. I knew several people say they claim to have saw a Black Panther while they were out hunting with their dad or something. And then people were like, "Oh, Black Panthers aren't real. Black Panthers don't exist."
Yeah, like I said, this is
Or
not
Black Panthers. We don't have Black Panthers around here. The game warden said so.
Mhm.
You'd hear stuff like that.
It was not anything I had on my mind on the way to work or any
Yeah, I
reason I
mean,
would be thinking about it or
yeah,
to imagine it per
right,
se.
yeah.
And it just happened out of nowhere. I have no, like I said, I have no reason to make it up what I seen.
Yeah, I definitely believe you saw it because a lot of people saw.
Mhm.
So there has to be something to it. But like I said, maybe it's not an actual creature, just some kind of spirit, some kind of warning, some kind of omen. In 2003, a family in eastern Kentucky reported sightings near their property. At first, it was just glimpses, something moving along the tree line. Then came the sounds at night, low, rhythmic, something circling. One evening, the father stepped outside with a flashlight. He swept the beam across the yard. Nothing. Across the fence, nothing. Then he turned towards the woods, and there it was, not moving, just standing, blacker than the night around it. Eyes reflecting the light, but not like an animal. He said they looked aware. He froze, and for a moment, just a moment, it felt like the world had narrowed to that single point of contact. Then the light flickered just slightly, and it was gone. No sound, no movement, just gone. That family moved within a year. They never saw it again, but they never forgot about it. And that's usually about how quick the encounter is. You just see it at the tree line, and then it darts off, gone. You see it dashing across a field, running into the trees, gone. Running from one side of the road to the other, up the hill, gone. It's always just brief encounters. So what are people actually seeing? Misidentified wildlife? Probably not.
I'm one that's really up on the wildlife in the area
Yeah,
as a hunter and
exactly.
stuff. So
Could it be a hidden population of big cats?
could be offspring of the lineman and the wampus cat.
I'm saying doubtful for it being an actual hidden population of big cats. I don't know. That doesn't sound like something that would be possible. It seems like they would be seen a lot more often if it was a decent sized population. If there's any kind of population of big cats in our area, it's very, very small. Like I'm talking like 5 or 6 of them. I don't think any of them have the genetic mutation that causes the black fur. It seems to be something that doesn't fit neatly into any category, really. But one thing's for sure, people are seeing something out there, whether it's some kind of spirit, like I said, or maybe an actual creature. They're definitely seeing something. You saw something. You and our son, you absolutely saw something. And like I said, I have no reason to think you're lying or making it up or you misidentified something. I think you saw an actual Black Panther, and I think all these other people that have been saying this for all these years, I think they've actually been seeing Black Panthers. I just don't know if it's an actual creature. Maybe it's from another dimension or another reality. There's endless possibilities, like we always say. Maybe the Black Panthers, the Meth Hogs, maybe they're all just a figment of our imagination. Whatever the answer may be, that's why we like to do this. It's why we like to sit around and have these discussions, tell these stories, investigate these things, see what we can find out, and share it with all of you. So we hope you've enjoyed the latest episode of Appalachia Not So Quiet. Come back and check us out again on our next episode, which should be coming next Monday. Check us out on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, YouTube,
Facebook, TikTok,
and sometimes X.
and of course, check out our website where you can find everything, notsoquiet.com.
That's right. Get on there and go to the merch store, Not Heads merch store. Check it out. All kinds of cool shirts and hoodies and hats, cups, just about anything you can think of. We're kind of like Spaceballs. You had the Spaceballs, the flamethrower. We're going to have Appalachia Not So Quiet, the flamethrower, the Bigfoot trap, things like that.
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, we still have all kinds of cool stuff in there. So go check it out and come back and check us out on the next episode. I'm your host, Hillbilly Phantom.
And I'm Appalachian Shade.
And we'll catch you on the next one. Till then, watch out for them buggers.